In just 3 days, the side effect of finishing 200 plus chapters of solo leveling is such that I am staying even in my dreams. But the benefit is that I know all the secrets related to solo leveling. That's why in today's video, I will tell you all the secrets related to Cartenon Temple. It's gonna be fun, bro. So 2 episodes of solo leveling has been released, and till now you all must have seen what all happened in Cartenon Temple. For those who don't know, let me tell you that along with Gino, 16 more hunters went to clear a D-level gate, but they found another dungeon there. That is double dungeon. There were a lot of big statues in this dungeon which started killing them one by one when they were alive, and these statues were not of a D level. If I tell you the truth, these statues were of S level. The situation was that only 6 out of 17 hunters survived, and in the end, Gino had to sacrifice himself so that remaining 5 survived. Yes, the remaining 5 survived, because after following the third rule, the door of the dungeon was opened from where the remaining 5 escaped. But Gino had to stay there. Someone had to do it, so he kind of died. Kind of? He didn't die? Of course he didn't die. Obviously, dude, he was the main character. Juno is the main character. How can he die in the second episode? Rather, he started seeing a game-like UI in which he has to first accept himself as a player. Then he will get quests. There will be some targets in the game. There will be some other aims. After completing them, he will level up. That's why the name of the manga is Solo Leveling, because Gino is being leveled up alone. Now, what happened next in the story? We will discuss that some later time, because the underlying question in this video is, what kind of place was this Cartenon temple? Why was this happening here? And how did Gino get passed from this place? Well, if you have watched these 2 episodes carefully, then there was a lot of focus put on one statue. Yes, the same big statue that was sitting on the throne and giving a very creepy smile. Well, this statue was a kind of perfect replica of Absolute Being. Now, who is this Absolute Being? Well, you can consider the Absolute Being to be the most supreme god in the solo leveling universe. There is no one above him, but there is a huge spoiler alert, so be prepared. In just a 5 seconds, the absolute being is no more. It's over, bye bye, tata, goodbye, gone, and yes. Don't think that the state had the power of the absolute being. No. It was just a replica in appearance, although the statue itself was quite powerful. Actually, we will talk about the whole history of the absolute being in another video, because we will talk about monarchs, rulers, a lot of things. It's a pretty big history. Here in this video, let's focus on the point that who made these statues and what was reason for making this statue. Well, if you have paid attention, there was another statue in this dungeon. Do you remember that fan-shaped statue that had a tablet in his hand with rules written on it? That was no one else but the architect. Yes, the creator of this dungeon. Architect has designed this whole place with the aim of finding such a person who can inherit the power of Shadow Monarch. You will again ask, who is this Shadow Monarch? And I will tell you this in another video. Okay, I will tell you a little bit because it's important for you to know little bit about the shadow. So basically, a long time ago, there was only the absolute being and nothing else. And apart from that, there was light and darkness. The absolute being created 8 heralds from the light, or we can say rulers, 8 monarchs from the darkness. These two parties always fought each other. Why did they fight? It's not necessary for you to know right that now. Just understand that they used to fight. And among all of them, there was the most powerful fragment of light. That is, there was a ruler and his name was Ashburn. Now, circumstances were such that people killed Ashburn, then he became a monarch and joined the side of monarch. And that's when his name becomes Shadow Monarch. You can say that after the absolute being, if there is anyone in this universe who is the most powerful, then it is the Shadow Monarch. That is Ashburn. When that is ruler went against Ashburn, what did Ashburn do? How was the absolute being killed? There are a lot of questions. We will answer them in some other video. Really, if we do it in this video, it would be very messy. Here, my only purpose was that to understand the creation of garden and the temple. And for that, it was necessary for you to know a little bit about Shadow Monarch, which I have just told you. So now, because the Shadow Monarch was so powerful, his power cannot be inherited by any such human. He will not be able to tolerate it. You know, we always see in different anime and series that is, it is necessary to find a capable human to host the power. That's why an architect came here, who used to be the king's sorcerer. He offered the Shadow Monarch. What did he offer? That I will find a perfect human vessel for you and give it to you, just like in JJK. Architect created a system with the help of which he could find a physically superior, mentally acute, and mentally sensitive human. The approach of Shadow Monarch was different. He wanted a type of human, not only the one who is already strong, but a human who has seen death very closely. Not once, but many times. Who is that human? You know the weakest hunter, Jinwoo, who was in E rank and the weakest among everyone. But then also he went to dungeon. He used to get beaten up. Almost he used to touch the death. That's why Shadow Monarch chooses him. And the architect was not agreeing with this, but Shadow Monarch reigned supreme. So the architect has to do what he says. Gino has a lot of courage. That's why Gino was chosen as the inheritor of the Shadow Monarch's power. Now, of course, Gino was so weak that he could not suddenly inherit the power of the Shadow Monarch. He would give all the power, he would explode, the person would die. That's why the architect made a system for him, where Gino would kill monsters, complete quests, complete daily tasks, make himself powerful. Slowly, he would get the power of Shadow Monarch in fragments. This whole system was made like a game UI by the architect, because we are often familiar with this kind of user interface. Gino was like a player in this whole system, where he has to kill monsters, complete quests, and all that, with which he will get experience points, and with this his level will also keep increasing. And slowly he will take the power of Shadow Monarch and become even stronger. We can also estimate Gino's power from his level, and when Gino reached level 100, precisely 101, then he again reached this Cartenon temple, where he was again defeated by these statues like monsters. Actually, the power of the statues was increased by the architect. Now, what happened there? I will tell you in some other video. It comes a long way, and it will also be a big spoiler. But yes, something very interesting happened there. Now, at this point, I am pretty sure that you must have learned a lot about Cartenon temple, about this double dungeon. You can say that, but here I have a question for you. Do you remember the rules of the Cartenon temple? I will tell you now. But before that, you guys write it in comments. Don't cheat it. It's been told in the second episode. So the rules are: worship the god, praise the god, and prove your allegiance. So yes, when Gino was trapped here in the second episode, this was his kind of test. In this test, Gino passed because not only he took these rules, but he's also ready to sacrifice himself. That's why when he was selected, he became a player. He started getting the power of Shadow Monarch, and slowly he's leveling up. That's why he's solo leveling. Now this whole system that the architect has made is very different in general from the world of solo leveling. Now we will ask how? Well, in solo leveling, we are clearly told that whenever a person is awakened, that is, whenever he becomes a hunter, he gets a rank on the basis of his power. Now this rank will always stick with him, because it is almost impossible to power up for him. Yes, he can hone his skills a little more. He can use some more good tools or more powerful weapons, but his power will increase a little. That didn't improve much from anywhere, but Chino is the only person here who's literally leveling up from E rank to S rank, then national level, and went beyond that too. So solo leveling is interesting. There can be many topics in this, many videos can be made, and many will be made on this channel. I spent 3 days to read 200 chapters, not just for fun, but to know it or yes. So yes, whatever questions you have in, who are the rulers, who are the monarchs, who are the absolute beings, and if the absolute being was so powerful, how did he die? In fact, why have the gates started opening on the earth for the last 10 years? I know you must have a lot of doubts about this too. It is right in the comments. You almost have known now that my voice is breaking. It's because I've got cold. But for you all guys, I'm making in this condition also. So my upcoming videos will be interesting. If you don't want to miss them, then subscribe to my channel and press